I'm not one of the speakers. I just wanted to testify to the power of the shofar, the sound of the shofar. Personal testimony. About 10 years ago, two very close brothers in the Lord ended up being called by God, along with another gentleman that I don't, still to this day, I don't know him. We're called by the Lord to travel from Texas to Minnesota to do spiritual warfare. Now, I know that everybody in this room has heard that terminology, and you probably have something in your head that those words conjure up as far as an idea of what spiritual warfare is. This isn't like anything probably that you've ever known about or experienced. These guys were actually, the Lord opened their eyes, spiritual eyes, to be able to see with physical eyes the battles that were going on between the forces of darkness and the kingdom of light. So the Lord, the Holy Spirit, would send them from place to place. So they're just listening to whatever the Holy Spirit is telling them, and they're going wherever and we're talking about moment by moment. So they're like driving, and the Holy Spirit says, turn right here, okay? That kind of thing. And they would end up in some location where they're watching, and they were tasked by the Lord to pray into the battle that is going on. They're watching these massive spiritual beings have battles in front of them. And there were situations where they had to be careful. The Lord would tell them, don't go any further than this, or you're going to actually be caught in the battle, and it's not going to be good for you if you get in the middle of this, okay? This is all stuff I've never heard of anybody else that has experienced this kind of thing. This went on for about a week. They were sent to be involved in this. On one of their outings, the man that I don't know came under a severe attack, and they were driving a pickup truck it was an extended cab pickup truck. He came under attack and was dying in the back seat of this truck. And I had been praying for them because they asked, please give us prayer support as we do this. So I had been praying for them, and I get a text from one of these men that's my closest friend, and he said, so-and-so is dying. He's dying in our truck. And the Lord has told us that we're to text you and get you to pray specifically about this situation and blow the shofar. And that was how he left it. So I went out in my backyard and I began praying in the Spirit, and I took the shofar and I turned towards the north and I began blowing the shofar. And he texted me back about 10 minutes later, and he said, we heard, so I'm in Texas, they're in Minnesota, we heard the sound of the shofar when you blew it. And he said, as soon as we heard that sound, he snapped out of it, and he's perfectly fine now. So let me tell you something. That shofar has spiritual power, especially when we use it as the Spirit leads. Now I know there are places that just like blow it willy-nilly. In their services, they're just constantly blowing it, and in my estimation, that's a distraction from what the Lord is wanting to do. But when the Spirit leads you to use that shofar, it has power to raise the dead, you guys. So I just wanted to share that with you.